And welcome back to Snack-ime, where we eat snacks and we watch anime. I am a co-host. I am Garrett. And with me, as always, my very lovely and much more camera-friendly... Well, you are. You're prettier than I am. And I don't see you denying it. Don't see you denying it.
Here, put it in front of my face. There we go. Camera friendly.
All right. How are you doing, Jenae? I'm excited.
I'm doing okay. What about you?
I'm tired. It's flipping hot, man. Starting Thursday, this last Thursday, we hit a for the next week. It's supposed to be like triple digit weather before we get any kind of break.
And
I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot. It's uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to step outside because it's too hot to do anything.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, we'll go take a dip in the pool. The problem is my parents' pool is in sunshine like all day long.
Well, at least you don't have to turn on the heat for it. You won't get cold.
There's no heater.
Oh.
There's no heater.
There you go.
It feels fine. That's not the issue. The issue is I don't want to get sunburnt.
Yeah, because you have to reapply and stuff.
Yeah.
There's no cover.
So I just wait until like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the evening, and I'll take a dip because by that point the sun is their house faces west, so the sun is behind or at that point in front of their house, and it's casting shade onto the pool, and it feels way nicer.
My parents, growing up when we still had the pool, we would leave it like it'd have its normal cover, just a little plastic thing, but we would. My dad built a perimeter around it, but then we would just put up a blue tarp when we were going out. So you'd leave it uncovered, so then the water would be warm, so you don't have to turn on the heat for it or anything. And then when you wanted to get into the pool, you still put on the sunscreen, but then you put the tarp up, so at least there's some shade. So
yeah, that's cool.
That's what we did to beat the heat.
Yeah, and my formative years, we were in the Phoenix area, and so there is no such thing as a cover over your pool because it's always hot all the time. Step outside at 6 o'clock in the morning, sunshine's barely up, but that pool is very, very boiling. Why? Because it was boiling the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that.
Just start putting ice cubes in it.
You're only in December.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh. Well, so let's talk snacks. What are you eating today?
I'm eating, it is a type of Lay's chips, and it's a spicy cheese flavor.
Ooh, that sounds good.
So we'll see how it tastes. It basically tastes like a Lay's cheese chip, but with a little bit of spicy kick at the end. So you don't taste the spice in the beginning, and then you taste it at the end.
Yeah,
but it's better crunch than a Pringle, though.
I'm eating Pringles.
Nice.
I got the pizza flavored. Because I didn't want just something randomly salty or anything like that. I went looking for like some kind of stylistic chip, and I couldn't find anything.
Really?
Yeah, I know that Lay's has a bunch of random stuff all over and stuff like that, but I couldn't find any the really cool limited offer flavors, and I was a little bit bored, a little bit bummed by that. I think last year, Lay's put out a garlic cheese bread potato chip.
Oh,
which was actually pretty good.
Yeah, don't unless you like pickles, dill pickles. Don't try the Doritos dill pickle. It's the weirdest sensation. they were giving samples at Costco, and so like it barely touched my tongue. An instant, it tasted exactly like a dill pickle, but like it tasting like a dill pickle, but then crunching on something hard like a chip. Yeah. My brain was like, "What are you doing?"
Oh my gosh, that sounds absolutely horrible.
Yeah, so it's like if you don't like dill pickles, then it's okay. You don't have to ever try it. But if people like dill pickles and you really want it, but apparently that's supposed to be like why you're seeing more dill pickle things is because I guess Gen Z is like really into that flavor palette, which is like okay, weird.
Yeah, Gen Z's into some weird stuff,
and they make fun of millennials with their avocado toast, and I don't even like avocado.
I have never been one for avocado toast. I don't eat avocados. They're disgusting. Like, I mean, if it's in a California roll because it's not like the prominent thing, yeah, fine, cool, whatever. But like, if it's on like something else and it's folded over, like, no, I remove that. I get rid of it because it's mushy. Yeah. It's disgusting.
I hate it when there's BLT sandwiches, but they're like, look, it's a BLTA. I'm like, get that avocado out of there, please.
Right. Well, I just go for BL on my BLT. Bacon, lettuce, I'm good.
You're not a tomato fan?
This is where you're going to make fun of me.
Well, I love tomatoes, so yeah, I'll make fun of you.
I will eat tomato soup. I will drink tomato juice or V8.
Yep.
I like salsa. I grew up eating, a good bolognese or marinara sauce. That doesn't bother me.
Yep.
I'll even eat diced tomatoes on tacos. Where I draw the line are slices on my sandwich or slices on my burger. You leave that crap off.
Do you ever eat the cherry tomatoes? Or have you ever eaten a pear tomato?
I have not.
Pear tomatoes are little tiny yellow tomatoes that are shaped like pears, and they are delicious and they are sweet, and I eat those like candy. They're so good.
Well, if I ever come across them, I'll send them to you.
Well, the sucky thing is, they're not sustainable in grocery stores. That's why they don't sell them. So you have to actually grow them because they don't last long on the shelf. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, my husband's the same way. He likes tomato soup. He likes pizza sauce and all that. And like he'll have some tomato like mixed in like with chili or some tacos, but like as an actual like fruit to eat, he won't eat it. He'll cook with it and everything to make whatever he needs to make with the tomato, but he won't eat it. So
yeah, I'm the same way. It's like, and like, I'm really picky about, like, I like to eat more vegetables than I do fruit, but I'm really picky. Like, I'll eat cauliflower, won't touch broccoli, hate broccoli. The only way I'll really eat broccoli is if it's done as a tempura style. But even then, all I eat is the top. I don't eat the stem.
You eat the top of the tree.
Exactly, like a brontosaurus. I like zucchini. I like squash. I like. It's weird. Like, I'm weird about onions. Like I like caramelized onions or sautéed onions. I like onion rings. Don't like them fresh.
Nope.
So again, they don't belong on my burger unless they're an onion ring.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And then
unless it's the little really sad diced up onions on McDonald's burger.
No, well that I can deal with. But like when they do the slivered onions on their quarter pounder, I have those removed. Like I've gone into McDonald's, I've specifically asked for them to not put the slivered onions on. They will put it on anyway. I'll go back and be like, no. This is not my burger. You even marked it, no slivered onions. Get that crap off.
Yep. Give me a new one because I can taste it.
Yeah, I'm super picky.
Yep.
One vegetable I will never, ever, ever touch: mushrooms. I hate.
I don't like them either. So, like, I will consume them if it's mixed into a casserole, like cream of mushroom soup, because I don't really taste it.
Nope, I can taste it.
I don't really taste it then, so I'm okay with that.
My grandmother was from Italy, and she would make sauce, and I'd be like doing homework and stuff, and she'd be like, "Hey, Garrett, come on over and taste this." And I'd go in and I'd taste it, and then like I'd walk up though, and I'd smell it, and I'd be like, "No, you've got mushrooms in there." She's like, "What? No, I don't. I can smell the mushrooms." Like, how can you smell them? They're diced up really small. You won't even be able to taste them. I said, first you're telling me they're not even in there. Now you're telling me that they're diced up really, really small. I won't be able to taste them. If I can smell them, I can taste them. I know what the texture is. There's no meat in this sauce. So therefore, I'm going to be tasting a lot of mushroom. No, thank you. It took her years before she started taking out the mushrooms.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Unless she lied to me and ground them up really, really small and put them back in. It's something she would have done. It would have been something she would have done because, like, oh man, that woman, she was a crafty one. Like, when I first came back from Japan, she asked me to come over and vacuum her house. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. She paid me $15. I didn't expect her to pay me. She paid me $15, then offered me a bowl of lasagna that she had made.
Oh
no!
No!
Sure, yeah, I'm hungry. It's lunchtime. I ate the bowl of lasagna. After she paid me, she asked me for $5 back for the lasagna I ate.
And then I thought you were going to say she loaded it with mushrooms.
Probably. Oh, and then a couple weeks later at Thanksgiving, like I'm telling the story, and she's like, "Garrett, I never did that. Tell them I never did that." And she's sitting there looking at me. I'm like, are you kidding me? I watched you do this. You took money out of my hand. You gave me a 10 and a 5. You took the 5 back.
Oh, that's funny.
My grandmother was she's a very interesting woman. But we're not talking about my grandmother or my hatred of all things fungus. We are talking about Black Rock shooter Dawnfall, which is our. I gotta get that in a bigger size. Hold on a second.
It's tiny.
I know, right? What the heck?
Well, this is gonna be a big crunch.
Is that any better?
I can see now.
Hooray!
Huzzah.
So yeah, we're talking about Black Rock shooter Dawnfall. That is the anime that we were watching this week, and it's kind of an interesting, post-apocalyptic sci-fi world. The year is 2062, so we're not too far off from that. And an AI, of course, it's an AI, called Artemis comes online, decides that humans are going to be a threat to its existence, tries to wipe us all out. And in the meantime, there's a bunch of survivors. There's different factions, including a quasi-cybernetic dude who operates some kind of like re-education installation.
The whole thing was weird.
It was very weird. So, I mean, there's kind of a Mad Max vibe to the entire show.
I've never watched Mad Max, so I've seen bits and pieces, but not sat down fully and watched any of the movies.
There's some,
but I can understand that.
There's something I'll mention a little while later that is why it reminds me of Mad Max, specifically a character. But so first of all, what were your thoughts aside from the fact that it was incredibly weird?
Well, I sat down like the first or second night that we were like, okay, we're going to watch this. And I could barely get through episode 1, and then I had to take a break. And, and my husband made fun of me. He's like, so when do you need to have this done? I was like, by this day. He's like, okay. I was like, I can do episode by episode. And the next day I watched episode 2.
And it didn't make it any better.
It didn't make it any better, so I skipped. Well, and then we had some family stuff going on, and so then I binge watched episode 3 through episode 6 last night, and it's just, I think it's funny because like we just discussed on the last episode how like with anime is random, and like you're like, can we just have some backstory and then jump into whatever modern day of what's going on, instead of we're jumping into the middle of the story and then getting flashbacks and things like that. And this show is all about that. It just jumped into, we have no idea what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And there's flashbacks, but not flashbacks. And
there's a lot of exposition explaining the history of what's happened up until this point.
Yeah. And then there's side storylines, but not side storylines. And then they somehow connect. And I don't know what the rating of it was, but like some of the scenes I wasn't expecting. I'm like, whoa, what is going on?
Yeah, there are some
some explicit scenes.
Very explicit.
Because I was thinking more of like, it would be kind of like a Ghost in the Shell kind of vibes from just like the pictures that I saw
right
before watching it. So
yeah, there's definitely a cyberpunk element to it, but it's very post-apocalyptic in the design, and that's kind of the thing that throws people off. So like, let me switch images here. So we are introduced to a very interesting cast of characters. So this raven-haired beauty here, I don't even know if you can call her a beauty. She doesn't even look like she's fully grown. So I feel a little awkward saying that. But like, her name is Empress. Her code name is Black Rock Shooter. No understanding as for what that is. I'm assuming, for me, it's probably a tie back to the Black Rock, organization that runs all the wars here in the here in the world that we know. Maybe, I don't know. YouTube, please don't ban me from making that kind of conspiracy theory. Anyway, she wakes up in a facility and her memory is shot. She knows that she has some special abilities, not entirely sure what, and her special abilities involve weaponizing energy sources and turning them into plasma beams and turning her hands into guns. Like, she can just generate weapons as she needs to. And she's not human. She's kind of a synthetic human cybernetic hybrid type creature.
Yeah.
And there are two others like her. There's this one right here. There's Strength, codename Strength. And then this one here, who's codenamed Dead Master. And I wish there was like some background behind why they're like, with Strength, I can understand it because like her vehicle turns into like a set of strong arms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dead Master, I like her hands kind of look skeletal, and she has like the demonic horn things sticking out of her head, and that's kind of cool, but still doesn't make a whole lot of sense why they give them these random names. And
the only thing I can think of is because she's a sniper, and usually snipers are pretty accurate with their.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
That's the only thing I can think of why that's her code name.
And then an Empress is found by these two kids over here, Norihito and his sister, and I cannot remember the sister's name for the life of me.
Oh, I can't either.
I want to say it's something like Sophie, but that doesn't feel right. Anyway, They find her. They become friends with her, sort of. They meet up with this guy, Colonel. I don't remember his name other than the fact that he's a colonel. And he's part of the resistance against the machine empire that operates from the moon.
Yeah.
And then we've got this girl, Monica, who seems to know a lot about the program that put together Empress and all the others like her, and how they're supposed to be like the force for humanity. They're humanity's last hope against the machine empire.
Yeah.
and which is cool. I mean, there's very much a Terminator vibe to it, but there's also, this is where the Mad Max stuff comes into play, because you have a bunch of different factions all vying for control and trying to wipe out humanity or save humanity. Everything is a desert environment. There's no lush greenery. There's no water anywhere that you can see.
And they always have to wear, well, the humans always have to wear masks because the air is not breathable at all. But
right.
Since Empress and the others are hybrid things, they're
cyborg
air. So,
and so there's a couple of other characters that we get introduced to. So, like, for example, we've got Guy Smiley here, who is the leader of, and I apologize for anybody seeing this and being like, what is going on with this dude? That's actually a skin suit. He's actually an android of some kind.
mm-hmm.
And he is the leader of this like re-education installation. It's this mobile thing, and he sends his troops out. His name is Smiley, and he is a psycho, true believer in this religion that is centered on the artificial intelligence that wiped out humanity. And it's his belief that humanity should be evolved into and enhanced through surgery and other methods into these cybernetic organisms. And it's weird because, like, right in this picture, he looks like he's anatomically similar to a Ken doll. Yeah. And yet he's able to do certain things in scenes that are just really, really, really inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of his soldiers right here. And then this girl, I cannot remember the life of me what her name is. But in reality, she was made to be kind of like Empress. Like, she's like an evil version. And what's interesting is, like, her setup, her hover bike jet thing that she rides, it turns into kind of a wingsuit and allows her to look very much like this like angelic demon type thing, which is kind of cool. But she's incredibly crazy, and turns out she's actually the Colonel's daughter, who was abducted and re-educated. And that's all in just the first 6 episodes.
Well, and like in most anime, like you kind of like because these are like most of the main characters that are pictured for the most part. Mm-hmm. And like we're both having problems like remembering their names. It's like it's almost like they're very forgettable kind of a thing. They haven't really established like, oh, we need to feel sorry for them. We want them to win kind of a feeling. I didn't feel that in this anime.
Yeah, there's no emotional connection.
I was just so confused and like shocked and like, okay, it'll get better, right? But how many episodes have we done now? And it's
6.
Like
we've done half the first season.
I would but I mean like and Snack-ime, where it's like, so people have gotten to know me. I personally don't like this type of 3D animation.
Yeah.
For anime style, I feel it's very clunky and very marionette puppetry. Now, this type of style for video games, it makes sense. It's a video game. It's supposed to not like run completely smooth and stuff like that. Yeah, this is like it just doesn't look good. The flow the animation flow doesn't look right. And so that's always hard for me to sit down and watch this type of anime style, because my brain's like, this doesn't look good, so this is probably not going to be good.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like the background looks like it's digitally rendered again, behind the cell and around the cell of the animation.
Yeah.
And like when the characters are static or they're doing like a driving sequence or a chase sequence, it looks fine. But like some of the other sequences look weird, and I wouldn't say it's clunky, but it I don't know, it doesn't feel as polished.
Yeah.
This particular image is of Smiley, and in some kind of like augmented armored form, and like this is a character that's incredibly creepy and bizarre. And this is like when I was talking about a moment ago about Mad Max. This character reminds me of Immortan Joe. If he's the guy with the weird skull-like mask and the breathing tubes, that's that's leading this caravan of psycho raiders and marauders that are driving through the desert. That's who this guy reminds me of. So like now this is a more isolated snowy sequence, and I think this based on what we were watching up through the first 6 episodes, I think this takes place later on.
Yeah, I don't recognize this at all.
Because because everything we've seen so far has been mostly desert, not mountains and snow and anything like that.
Yeah.
But like his character is just like he's looking for a human female that can adapt to providing him with some kind of child. Like he wants to be a father. And it's like, dude, you gave up that ability naturally when you became a cyborg. So the fact that he is, and like it was brutal to watch some of those sequences.
It's just weird.
It made me very uncomfortable watching it, especially, and I don't think I'm giving anything away. Maybe I am, spoiler alert, but when they capture Norihito's it's Norito, sorry. When they captured Norito's little sister, who's got to be like no older than 10.
Yeah.
Like
I cannot call
a little
girl.
So, and like he wants to augment her so that she can have a child. And it's like, dude, that is what is wrong. Like, what I want to do is I want to find the creator and be like, what's wrong in your head?
Yeah.
This is not right. This is not the done thing. This is very, very wrong.
Well, I almost feel that even like with their dialogue and stuff, I feel that there was something missed in translation with some of the conversations. It's like, okay, did you completely translate it and be like, oh, well, we'll just go with this instead of like moving the words around to have it make sense?
Yeah.
Because like the expression of the face, but then the words coming out don't make sense sometimes with some aspects.
Yeah. Well, I like some of the conversations were fine, but like between the first 2 episodes, one of the things I noticed is that like there are 2 different sections where Colonel has to remind Empress what her history and what her background are. And it's like, dude, we don't need this a second time. You've already told her once. You don't need to tell her again. Yes, she doesn't remember who she is, but she doesn't have this constant issue where like every 5 seconds she, forgets who she is.
Yeah.
But I think one of the most obnoxious things was like the weird obsession that both Monica and Dead Master have with Empress. Like there's a conversation, I think it's in episode 2, maybe episode 3, where Monica is checking on Empress. Empress has been injured or something like that. And as they're talking, she offers to have sex with Empress. And it's like, what? I'm sorry, what is the context of this? None of that makes any sense. And then Dead Shooter, like all of her monologues to herself and some of the conversations that she has later on with Empress, like belie this weird sexual obsession with Empress. And it's like, why are we over-sexualizing these characters?
Yeah.
Especially when they look like they're like not even 12 years old. It's very weird, very uncomfortable. And I feel like I'm talking too much.
I was looking up the character,
Like the voice actors.
Yeah.
I don't recognize any of the names. Like, this is a better shot of Deadmaster. Like, you can see like her fingers, like the gloves that she has are these weird skeletal cybernetics. Definitely has that creepy vibe going on. And then here's Strength, and her hands are kind of weird looking, but
like in some they kind of look like skeleton, like in later ones they kind of look like skeletons.
And I'm not sure why they have that aesthetic. Like, nothing's ever explained about that. Because then you look at Empress, and I really like the shot. This is cool. I don't know if this was like art for the show or if this is like fan art or whatever.
I don't mind that art.
Art's but like better. This is her generating some kind of like cool plasma cannon out of her arm, and like none of her gloves look like perfectly normal. So I'm not entirely sure what the deal is.
Yeah, I don't recognize the names of some of the voice actors.
Yeah, I didn't either. There's none of the regulars that you normally would see.
It's like, okay.
So if you were to give this show a rating so far, just based off the first 6 episodes, like out of 5 stars.
Oh, out of 5 stars? Barely a 1. I like with not watching the whole series, but like the story. There's a story that just feels all over the place and so random and obscure sometimes. I'm just not sure why it was okay. I was almost wondering if it was also a manga or a light novel or something. They're like, ooh, let's animate this. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way, kind of a thing.
And that's the thing is, like, I'm looking at this.
But
there's no it's saying there was a manga for Black Rock Shooter. Which is a 4-panel comic strip adaptation of the anime series. So the animated series came out first.
Okay.
And then they did a 4-panel comic adaptation for that. So
usually they don't do anime first, then manga. Usually it's manga, and if it's really popular, then they do anime. So that's interesting.
Well, and here's the funny thing is that, like, there is, let me switch here. So looking at this, like, there's Black Rock Chan, which is the 4-panel comic strip.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the Black Rock Shooter Innocent Soul, which is a manga serialized in Young Ace.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the game, an adaptation of the PlayStation Portable game with its own unique story. Which PSP, like, that was what, 15 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
So the title has been out for a while. And then they've got the Fragment Episode Strikers, which is another manga series. And so, like, the anime came out first, and then you have all this other content, which is usually like it's the manga first, and then the content comes after that.
There has been a few anime that I've watched that they're based off of video games, but they're like dating simulator video games.
Oh, that's
like
lame.
one's called Amnesia, and so this girl wakes up in different, like, it's still her, but she wakes up in different storylines. Can't remember. She remembers like the main character people, kind of, but like her memories like all weird because she's like, wait, I was in this timeline. We were all friends. Now I'm dating this guy, and this is happening to me. But I'm still working at this place, but I don't remember like working there, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it feels very
And
weird.
the basically, like, from, because I've rewatched it several times, and the way it feels like is that the world / the game is trying to unalive her, and then she wakes up into a different simulator, like same characters again, but she's now dating this new guy that she used to be that she was friends with and stuff, and she's like, wait, what's going on? And she has like a companion that helps her out, but like sometimes she can hear him, sometimes she can't. So, but I've never played the game, but so it's basically, I'm assuming, like, for the anime, each, because it's like 1 or 2 episodes per guy that she's dating. So I'm assuming that's just like you're going through the simulation of what the game would be, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I've watched anime like that. So that's been interesting. I was like, wonder where they got that idea. Was there ever a manga? Because that'd be kind of interesting if they could elaborate more on the different storylines instead of just being a few episodes each. So
yeah. It's hard to say. Like, I can't tell you the number of times I've seen something that's based off of anime, and I'm like, oh, that looks cool, and then like, I'm like, it's just a dating simulator game, and I'm like, that's so freaking lame.
Well, for you, maybe.
Oh, like, I think part of it is like I get really tired of seeing like gameplay teasers or commercials or anything like that on social media.
Yeah, and it's not
like
how
you go to download the game, and the actual gameplay is nothing like what was promoted. Like a great example is the game Royal Match. Like the promotional videos for it, it's all about like saving the king from some kind of danger. And so you have to solve the puzzle before you run out of time, where he gets crushed or drowned or set on fire, or, eaten by some kind of beast.
Yep.
I was all for that because that's it's a race against the clock, stuff like that. Oh no, what it is it's a bunch of puzzle crap. It's the same kind of puzzles, they're just different layouts, and you have to earn points and progress through these different levels to get to that one level in the game for each zone that you're competing. And what you're doing is you're actually building his castle. So basically, I feel like a slave building this dude's castle. Meanwhile, he's dreaming about being eaten by a dragon.
And it's basically Bejeweled. It's a glorified Bejeweled.
Yeah. Well, and then there's another one that popped up called King Shot. And like you run around as a king, like shooting monsters and fellow soldiers. You build up your kingdom. Like every kill you make, gets you so many coins. You go and spend the coins to build up your barracks and your castle and your town and all that. Oh no! It is nothing like that at all. It is a real-time strategy game, MMO RPG, which is way more involved. And it's like, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
And so I'm really tired of ads for games where the games are not like what's advertised.
Yeah.
So, but that's just me. That's just me. So you'd give it a less than 1 star review.
Yes.
I would probably have to be like at least a star. Just giving and fighting.
So nice.
We've only watched half the first season.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all over the place. it's hard to really pay attention to the characters. Like I had to go back and watch an episode because I'm like, did I just see what I thought I saw? And like, it's hard to pay attention because like it feels so erratic and so frenetic. Like I have no idea what, like aside from Empress trying to save the kids and trying to find a way to stop the Artemis program from killing all humanity, like I have no idea why all these factions are doing what they're doing, and character motivations are all over the place. So I'm just
then doing side quests, but then they're like, but we need to do this. We need to save humanity. Fine, I guess we can go do this.
Well, the other thing is like, I don't even remember the scene where like the kids break away from Empress and Colonel.
I don't remember that either.
I don't remember seeing a scene where the sister gets kidnapped.
Yeah, because I remember them like getting supplies.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember them delivering the supplies and then the kids staying. I was so confused by that. I was like, okay.
Yeah, none of it makes any sense. Maybe it's just a bad fever dream. Like maybe they brought Michael Bay in to direct most of the episodes, and he's like, explosions, guns, missiles.
No. They did. It was the person that did the live action Speed Racer is what it happened. If you ever watched.
Oh God, that would be the Wachowskis.
That was horrible.
God, that was so terrible.
It definitely needed to be in a different space.
Worst anime live action crossover adaptation ever of all time. No, I heard that. No, it's still the worst.
Mostly Dragon Ball Z is pretty bad.
Dragon Ball Z Evolution is terrible.
I've never watched it, so. But and also her Death Note's really bad. The live action. Matt tried watching live action Full Metal Alchemist, but it was not Americanized. It was
Japanified.
No offense to live action Japanese series, but they like to act over the top like how anime is. Uh-huh. And so it feels like a soap opera when you're watching it.
It feels very tongue in cheek.
And so it's like I can't usually watch live actions.
I'm so glad that there's not a live action version of Ranma. like because I think the show would focus on the wrong things. Like it's like they would spend way too much time focusing on like Ranma's transformation. It's like just stop.
There is one from 2011. It looks like.
What?
Yeah, there's a live action. I guess it got a 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb.
Oh,
it's a movie.
What?
It's 2 hours. It's a movie. 2 hours of live action Ranma. Oh no!
I need to find this.
Oh my gosh!
I'm on a mission to find this.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness!
Oh, that would be a sight.
You mentioned earlier about listening to soundtracks.
Yes,
specifically anime soundtracks. I gotta say, like, while the show is all over the place, I think the thing that the show does very, very well is the music is just
the music's really cool.
Like, I love the music, like the opening soundtrack, the closing credit soundtrack. Mm-hmm. Like it is really pumping. Like it is like some of the really good music. I really enjoyed it.
That's what I always find fascinating. Like with anime, they'll have a good opening scene and a good closing scene. And like sometimes you're not expecting that music for whatever the anime is, and you're like, wait a minute. Like one of the animes, a newer one that came out last year before, Kaiju number 8. the opening song and the ending song are actually I'm trying to think. I think one is the ending song is One Republic, and then another the opening song is I can never pronounce his name, but I believe he is from the UK, and he sings it. And so it's weird to see and hear American or English speaking songs on it, because even if you watch it in dubbed, it's still the same song. And usually when they dub it, they'll, like, if the people can sing, they will redub it and have them sing the intro song and stuff.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, like, hands down, probably my, like, I've been obsessed with the theme song from Erased since we watched that show.
It's so good.
Like, that song is so good. It's so, like, so catchy. And it's only like a minute and a half long. What the heck? And I want to find the sheet music for this. Like, it's that good of a song. As a guitarist, as you know, God, it's so much fun to listen to. So yeah, but this particular soundtrack for Dawnfall, I like it. It's fun, and I think, I mean, like, obviously you can have bad anime, or the animation is kind of crap, or whatever, but the soundtrack is just, it's kind of something fun to listen to in the background. And that's kind of what I was doing, because I was finishing watching, the last couple of episodes for this block last night while I was doing some writing, and it was giving me some good fuel with that music. I'm just sitting there yeah, that's some thumping rock music right there. Yeah, and I'm just writing away, and it felt good. So, anything else you want to touch on before we wrap up?
I know we'll probably hit on the next six episodes later after we do a rundown of our next anime. So maybe I'll change my mind on the almost 1 star rating after we watch the next set of 6.
Maybe we'll see. What are we going to be watching for next month?
Next month, we are going to be watching and reviewing the first 5 episodes of The Ways of the House Husband. If you want to watch the first 5 with us, and then you can see your take compared to our take, it's going to be on Netflix right now. So
very cool. The Ways of the House Husband.
And I've watched this series several times, and Kat actually was the one who recommended it to me originally, a few years ago.
Really?
So, yeah, and it's hilarious. It's a really good one.
Okay, all right. Well, if you're hearing that, Kat, you just got a ringing endorsement from Jenae that this is a good anime. And me, I'm going to try and see if I can get over my own personal traumas from being a house husband. And,
you can compare and contrast in our next episode then.
Yes, the next episode I'll be just in the corner hugging myself. I'm in.
Oh, but you'll have to find a nice frilly apron to wear, though.
I've got one. It's black.
That's not frilly.
I don't do frills. I don't do frills.
He wears a suit most of the time with a frilly apron and sunglasses. So
I don't get it.
You'll love it. It's hilarious. You'll love it.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to take your word for it, Jenae.
You lied to me. She lied.
Like all the other women in my life. No, I'm kidding.
I thought I could trust her.
It's the red hair.
It's the downfall. She made me watch Sailor Moon, at least the first 6 episodes.
She's a red-haired temptress. He's almost the Jean Grey of Feast of Fandom. No, I'm kidding.
No. No.
Woo!
It's cool, but no.
All right, so Jenae, as we're wrapping up, where can people find you?
Well, people can find me on the Geek Gauntlet podcast at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Saturdays, or you can find me on my drawing challenge on Instagram. It's JELXINB, or I am drawing one thing a day, and the challenge is make it Sailor Moon style, or make it Sailor Moon whatever. So
yeah, Sailor Moon. All right,
I'm halfway there.
Yep, and I'll be popping onto the Geek Gauntlet tonight to harass everybody, as I'm prone to doing. As for me, you guys can find me on Instagram and X at GKJ_publishing, where I talk about my books. I talk about my other show on YouTube, The Right Way, where I talk about books, book recommendations, author interviews, and creative writing tips. As of this Saturday, this Friday, we're airing it on, the 11th of July, technically. I've done one episode last week, the Saturday after 4th of July. Tomorrow I have a live stream on YouTube. It's a creative writing workshop class that I'll be teaching at my local library on how to pick a genre to write and how to develop writing prompts. And then in a couple of weeks, I will have my season 7 finale of The Right Way. I have a very special awards ceremony that I'm doing for my guests and guest hosts. And so, yeah. Also, you guys don't want to miss out on any of the other shows that we have on Feast of Fandoms, like MCU Mondays, Captain Logs and Lightsabers, War of the Stars, which I'm also on, Cantina Happy Hour, obviously Snack-ime, which is the best show, and then the Geek. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for us. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Stay safe out there in the month of July, because I don't know about you guys, but where I am, it is hot. It's triple digits, and I hate it. Meanwhile, Jenae is up in Washington, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we're having a heat wave. It's only 70 degrees though."
But where I'm at, it's muggy and dry and gross. I live in a desert area, so it's not fun. Just because we're called the Evergreen State doesn't mean there's evergreens everywhere.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. What's funny is, actually, I thought about moving up to Hanford, Washington, because I live in Hanford, California. I figured, yeah, hey, whatever. And the funny thing is, aside from the letter S, the counties are the same. Kings is where I live, Kings County. They are King County.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's kind of a fun coincidence. But then I looked at where Hanford, Washington is, and I'm like, no, it is like a toxic dump.
I don't know if I've ever been to Hanford.
You probably haven't, and you would remember because it's a toxic dump. Anyway, that's going to be it for us. Hope you guys have a very, very wonderful rest of your July, and we'll be back in August talking about the ways of the house husband.
Bye.